So as you know, you guys told me that it is good to have religion, or societies actually need religion.
Yeah.
And my issue here is that you see, in society too, we are living with human beings. Do you get it? People from different background, and then human beings also have some needs.
Yeah.
So my main point here, we want to focus on things which are is very going on in this country or
Okay.
in society, like mental health, because there are some situations where we see people going through a lot, striving a lot, and then they need help and other kind of things. So here I want to. I want us to bring the faith and mental health together.
Okay.
That's so our faith or religion in the society. How does it contribute? So first of all, I want to ask, what is the typical Ghanaian perspective about mental health?
Okay, I would like to start with this one. As we said, we are all Africans, and then in every African country you go, there are either a tribe or ethnic group.
Okay.
And then in Ghana here, we have various ethnic groups and tribes. But one thing about them, right, whether Ga, Fanti, Chi, all of this tribe or ethnic people that comes together to form the country called Ghana, they behave in the same way when it comes to mental health, right?
Okay.
So when they see somebody who they perceive to be mad, they wouldn't go near the person. They wouldn't even help the person. Even the family the person comes from. Why? Because they have myth or superstition or stereotypes against these people, right? So in a normal ethnic community, they believe that when somebody is mad, it's because one, the person is either a witch or the person went to do something, let's say juju,
Okay.
let's say witchcraft. The person went to do something and he or she is getting a consequence of what he or she did. But because they're not well educated, back then they didn't have education about, or they didn't know what causes somebody to be mad, right? But now I think it's something that is becoming better because the education is going more or less people are getting to know it. But back then they thought that no, when somebody is mad, he or she is a witch, number one. Or he or she was involved in something that was wrong and he or she is getting the implication of what he or she has
Okay.
done.
Okay. All right.
Okay. That's cool. So about this mental health issue, I would say that it's one of the serious issues in our country currently. Yes, because you go to a lot of places where you see people with mental illness just there with no care, no proper care. They are just lying beside a store or someone's house. And one thing that shocks me is how these relatives of these mental people they treat them. Some people they will lock their relatives in rooms, put them in spiritual camps, and like they are suffering. And the stigmatization, how these people are stigmatized, they are given all sorts of names, like it baffles my mind. Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
And it's so true. Like all that they are saying is very true.
Okay.
And from the psychology aspect, okay, when we say mental health, is a state in which one finds him or herself. Okay, and so when we talk about depression, a lot of stress. It's not just being mad, and all. It comes in different or diverse forms. And so it's so funny how someone is walking there normally, but deep down within them, they are mentally ill.
Okay.
And just as they are saying, the stigmatization is so bad, they themselves don't want to come out of their hiding, to go to the hospitals to see a psychologist or the psychiatrist, just so they'll be healed or relieved of whatever they are feeling, simply because of the stigmatization. And it's so bad in Ghana. So that's something so about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the issue of mental illness, I think the government of Ghana is not giving much attention to that.
Very true.
I think it's high time our people in high office give it a very important attention, because we have a lot of people who are going through a lot mentally, but they don't have anybody to care for them. In Ghana, we believe that if someone is mentally ill, it's either the person has been cursed, he has wronged someone, and the person is cursed,
or he's going through some kind of depression, or sometimes we believe that it's witchcraft, as you said. So I believe that the government should find a way to cater for them. I think we have places that we can take them to. But I think in Ghana, for example, the government is not doing what the government is doing is just not enough. So the government should, I think, give it much attention so that we can be able to keep the issue of mental health in this country. Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, Inshaba, not to cut you. You see, mental health issue is one thing that, as Jafar was saying, the government should really look much into it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are walking around. You can see that this person looks sane.
Okay.
You can
Yes.
see that this person looks sane, but what is going on up there is too much. The pressure, and you see, we are living in a community that people are going through a lot. You see, for example, let's take this how should I say deformed people. There was this news that I was watching where a guy has this trauma, like it comes, and when he's speaking his head will just be going back like this. And the man was like, when he goes outside, the kind of words that people say,
to him.
the kind of eyes they give to the guy, like it hurts the guy a lot. So I will also say that it is high time that society, we need to learn how to live with these people, because if we live better with them, it also helps them calm their mind. It helps them see that they are also part of us as human beings. So I
That's
think that is one.
Okay, so nice. All right. So based on what you guys are saying, I want to know that comparing it to our religious communities, do these religious communities see mental health as religious or physical phenomena? Based on what you guys are saying,
Okay.
I want to know whether they see it as religious or physical phenomenon.
As we formally said that we are living in a religious pluralistic society, a lot of our judgments are spiritual.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of our judgments are spiritual. Even let's take the Bible for example. When the guy who was blind and Jesus Christ healed him, and they took the man to the Pharisees, and it was like, was it the sin of the mother or the father? You get it? We are trying to find some spiritual way to judge what is going on with that particular person. And it is going on, as you guys were saying, that when something has happened to somebody, is because the person has gone to some spiritual side, and the consequence of that thing has affected him. And 90% of us have that mentality that people going through this mental illness as a result of spiritual effects.
All right. Thank you very much.
I would add up to what you said. When I was growing up, when I see a mental person or somebody who is not looking like a normal human being, like dirty, tattered, and all that stuff, I used to think that the person is possessed by maybe demon or jinn. Yes, because I will still base it on education. Africans, we didn't have education about mental illness, right? What was the education that was brought to us was Islam and Christianity. So we believe in spiritual things. We believe in our myth. We believe in our legends. We believe in our taboos. So when we see something that is not normal in our society, then we just put it there because because we didn't get the education. But as he said, we have a lot of mental illness, right? Or sickness or deformity that look like the person is not in the right mind, like bipolar, autism, like they are there. Do you get me?
Exactly.
Some depression. Sometimes the person needs a relaxed or calm society because the pressure on the person is just too much, right? Also, I have a personal incident I would like to share. So I think I was 10 or 11, and then I was diagnosed with hay fever, right? I didn't know what hay fever was then. I didn't have phone, I didn't have dictionary to check what hay fever was back then. But one time my sister left me. My sister was always with me, my elder sister, Rafa. She was with me the time I was sick. And then she left me that, oh, I'm going to buy food, Papa, yeah. and I'll come back home. So please stay indoor. I'll be back. Do you know, I was in the room, I was watching television. All of a sudden, I had something in my mind. Go and take a knife.
Wow.
I went to take a knife.
To do what?
Then the thing in my head was like, cut your wrist.
Really?
Yes. Yes. So I was holding the knife, playing with the knife on my wrist.
This is serious.
Serious. I didn't know what was happening. So I was there and I was like, no. Then I started praying. And then I heard that Zan was being mentioned.
Okay.
So I had to drop it down.
Okay.
I didn't know what was going on in my mind. So when my sister came and I told her, then she started praying. So recently I was there and I was like, let me check the meaning of hay fever. Then I just saw it. I was like, wow. So I was also going mad. You get me? Yeah. So the education is there. Sometimes what the person is going to, he or she doesn't know.
Okay.
It's not like the common thing where somebody will come, oh, he or she is sick with malaria.
That's
Or he or she is sick with fever. Oh, take her to the hospital. Sometimes you go to the hospital and you tell the doctor what is wrong with you. And even the doctor doesn't even know whether it is with your brain or it's with your human being. So when I read what hay fever was, and I realized that wow, God saved me. You get me? Because as an African, no matter what, you put it to spiritual,
Okay.
right?
So
You wouldn't put it to physical. Like your mind will even calm because the education is down.
Okay.
You get me? Yes.
everything is subject to spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think we also believe that everything happens in the spiritual before it comes to the physical. Yes, and so most definitely, if there's something going on with this person, it means something spiritual has happened. But more often than not, these people are not even aware of the state they find themselves in.
Yeah.
But I think that we could actually bring in religion. You see, when we pray with them, when we speak to them, like the education aspect, and some of them, they just need to talk to someone. They need a listening ear. So it's not like it's the tons of work and the load, the pressure, and the depression is so high and the stress is so high, and they go through all these trauma and all these things. And so I wouldn't say it's so spiritual, but as a Christian, probably I would also believe that, well, you need to rest or find time, alone time with God, try and connect with nature. And all these things help you have a peaceful mind.
So,
and that will help you.
So I've been having time with God.
Okay.
Does it mean you are also trying to connect mental health with spirituality or religion?
Well, you can blend it. That's what I'm trying to say. If you get a very quiet environment, just as she was saying, probably she could have meditated. And she said she started praying. She had a voice. So which voice was that? And definitely we'll say it is spiritual, because no one, if you start hearing voices, then it means psychologically up here is not all right.
That's nice.
Yes.
I like that.
I think that we live this world is a physical world. There's also a spiritual world.
Exactly.
Okay.
And sometimes, most often than not, these mentally challenged people believe that it is a spiritual world rather than as presents them. Forgetting that sometimes the physical world can also take part.
Yeah.
If you go through a lot of stress, even anger can cause you to be mentally unstable.
Yeah.
So it's not always a situation that should be the spiritual world. Sometimes the physical world can also contribute, can also be a contributing factor. But we don't give much attention to that. We limit everything to physical. And so sometimes it is also a very big problem. We need to sit down and also think about it, especially the medical experts. They need to educate us on that. That it's not always the case that the spiritual world takes. Yes, the religious people will do that for us.
Okay.
What are the professionals, the health professionals, what are they also doing in the physical world to help us in solving this issue of mental health?
Yeah, all right. Nice. Wow, you guys are very good. Okay. One thing I would also like to know is you just share some view. Madam Recuse said something that she almost started. So I'd like to ask. So when and where have you seen yourself or a friend of yours going through difficulties and this person is in need of mental help? Have you experienced that thing before, like yourself or your
Yeah.
friend going through difficulties?
And this is what I remember back in 2016 after BC. My mate Thompson, his families were outside the country.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was staying with his grandma. So after BC, something happened to this guy. We never saw him again. Not knowing that something is wrong with his mind, and he has left the town.
Wow.
Yes, we don't know. So what we heard was he was in a bush.
Wow.
So one day a farmer was going and he saw the guy putting poison in Tampico,
Yeah.
about to drink. No, actually he drank it, and the guy was there. So he had to carry him and bring him to the hospital. After that, a year after that, the same thing happened to the guy again. And this time he called me around 1 a.m. there. He said that he sees something on my DP, like my head is cut or something. So we should go to church and pray. You see, Africans, when you hear things like this,
Sure.
spiritual things, your heart will be beating and all that. So I'm like, we will go. We went to the church, and the guy stood up, went to the pastor, shouting at the pastor, not knowing that just like your hay fever came onto you, the same thing happened to the guy.
Wow.
The guy was just shouting in the church, jumping and all that. So the mom and the dad, they took him to the hospital. So yes, people really need mental help. Yes, people really need it, because a lot of us, we are going through stuff. Okay, a lot of us. And my junior, recently we heard of a guy in KNUST who fell from the building, and yeah, he was my junior. The same thing happened to him. Yeah, it was a mental stress.
Okay.
He was trying to jump from one balcony to the another, and it slid him, and he fell from there and died.
That's
So
serious.
people are going through a lot, and yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Well, personally, I haven't been through that,
Oh wow.
but a relative of mine, I think my auntie,
Okay.
I think we were just little, my sister and I'm actually a twin. So I don't know. It's like she was so uncomfortable. She was not talking, but you could see from her behavior. It's like she was so restless. And one amazing thing is that when we go to church, the pastor will pray for her, she'll be fine. And then she'll talk with us, we all laugh and all that. When we get home, then the attitude changes again. And so we felt like, what is really happening to her? What is going on? And we were laymen, just as she was saying, the education is not so much.
Okay.
And so instead of taking her to the hospital to be diagnosed, and then let us get to know what is wrong with her and all that, we thought that, well, religion first. So let us go to the church and let us pray for her. But here lies the case where we prayed for her. We came back home, and it's like tuning your volume to the highest, and then it comes back and it became worse. Okay, but in the long run, we went to the hospital and now she's fine. And so yeah, I think I haven't had a personal encounter, but it's very bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, so I'll add to what she said. When somebody is perceived to be mentally ill, when he or she is taken to the religious centers, what they normally do is to pray.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then in Islam, the perception is that the person is, there's a jinn inhabiting the person, right? So there's a specific prayer they have to say for the person until the jinn comes out, right? So if the jinn doesn't come out, right, they'll tell their family members that, okay, this and this, they don't think it is this, so
Okay.
they should look for help somewhere, right? Help somewhere. Here too, education comes in, because they don't know what is wrong with the person. Because the education they have is that a person can be possessed by a jinn, right? Or other spiritual beings around us that we can't see. So their education is that if they do the prayer and it doesn't work on the person, or the person gets well and the person gets a relapse, they'll do the same prayer for the person.
Okay.
Do you get me? So it could continue over and over again until they'll be like, take him or her to somewhere else. Do you get me? So then it will be the burden of the family to find out what is wrong with the person. Apart from that, religious people, they do well by praying for you because that is what they know. That's the truth. Am I lying?
Yes.
Foreign of adoption or you.
On you.
For religious leaders, they will be there to pray for you.
Yes.
As I quite remember, I had a friend who went to learn and we were coming back home. All of a sudden, this guy started talking gibberish. What he was saying doesn't make sense. So I was, why? What exactly are you saying? So I realized that this guy, no, what he's saying is out of coverage area. So I was trying to comfort him, like make him realize that what he's saying doesn't make sense. When I just saw this guy started running.
Really?
So I was like, no, this guy is not normal. There's something wrong with this guy. Because how can you just be saying something that even to you it doesn't make sense? And you yourself, you don't understand what you are saying.
Okay,
So I believe that for me personally, I have not have issues of mental, but I clearly can see. Some time ago, I met some guy at Chimota station. This guy, can you imagine, he was selling mortar.
Mortar?
So clearly
Like
you can
the
see
one that
that,
used to be-
yes, I think they've mixed everything, and this guy was carrying it. I'm selling mortar.
Wow.
Clearly you can see that this guy he's really going through a lot.
Okay.
I think there's really a problem with this guy.
Okay, so on this note, you see, you've said a lot about mental health and your faith. So within you, I would like to know, does your faith and mental health conflicts?
Most of the time, it's not that a person needs a spiritual help. The person needs somebody to talk to.